Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mama Baird, and today I got another food bank haul for you. It wasn't too much at the food bank today, but that's alright. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to show you a quick recipe you can make with some of the items that you might have in your pantry. Alright, starting off with the dairy, I was able to get a whole gallon of milk, and then they were allowing families to get 2 pounds of butter if you are a family of 4 or over. So I was able to get both those and the gallon of milk, so that was quite a nice surprise. And then I got this thing of American processed cheese. It kind of looks like Velveeta. So I got this is a 2-pound block of that. For produce, I was able to get some really nice red bell peppers and a head of cauliflower. And then for the extra shelf, they had walnuts. So I grabbed a bag of walnuts. I've been really liking to cutting those up and adding them to pancakes and my salads lately. And then for the sweet treat I was able to get this week, I got some almond-filled Danishes from Costco. And those are always a hit. So I got a packet of those. Bread-wise, they had a lot of potato bread. And I actually went to the food bank on the 14th, and this went out on the 15th, and this the 14th. So they are technically still in date when I picked them up, which was a nice surprise. And then they had extra bins of, I thought this was rolls, but now that I'm looking at it, they kind of look like slider buns. Yep, slider buns. So those would be good for some little mini sandwiches for the kids. And then they also had a lot of bagels, so you could pick up bagels and rolls. There was no limit, but I just got 1 pack of each. And then I got a pound of spaghetti. It's pretty nice. And then over for the canned goods, got some diced tomatoes. I went ahead and wrote the dates on there for you guys so you can see everything's pretty much in date. Looks like these Amy's soups is out of date. Is the only one though. Got some nice salsa. And I really like to keep these jars because you can recan in them if you so choose, or just use them for storage. Alright, the next thing I was able to grab was a pound of Great Northern beans. I think these are one of the most versatile beans you can get besides pinto beans. You know, give me some of your favorite recipes with beans. It's a very good staple item that everybody should be stocking up on right now for sure. They also had some instant mashed potatoes. I love instant mashed potatoes, so I grabbed a bag of those. You can never have too many. They're great for thickening up stews if you need to. And then they had more blueberries. So they had a whole bunch more, and so I was able to grab some. This is a 2.5 pound package of blueberries. So that was a nice surprise to grab some more of that. They had some ground turkey this week, so I grabbed a 2-pound package of that. Maybe make some enchiladas or something. It sounds pretty good. Then they had stir-fried chicken, so that just means that it's cut into strips, thin strips already. So they had one of those, and it's 1.1 pound. Then a U.S. beef loin tri-tip steak. And then they had 2 packages of bones. This is something that I like to grab because I know my family can utilize this. We can make stock out of this. So this is where I would leave something like lunch meat and get this instead. Anytime you see bones, I like to grab them because I use them for my stock, and I don't purchase like half a cow at a time or something, so I don't have the option to get bones. I could go to the butcher shop and probably order some, but anytime I see them, especially they're relatively cheap too if you see them in the stores, and they still can't sell them because they still end up at the food bank. But I like to grab these and use them, so anytime I need to make some beef stock, I got bones ready. Alright guys, that's what we got from the food bank. Now, don't leave yet because I'm going to be showing you a quick and easy recipe. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and you have to press that notification bell so it will notify you every time I got a new video coming out. Because trust me, you're going to want to see this. Let's get to cooking. Alright everybody, figured I would cook you some food, showing you some of the food that I got at the food bank, just to kind of use this up. So I'm going to make some sweet and sour sauce, and I'm going to put this canned lamb that I did. Now with this lamb, I didn't fill it up all the way like it should be. As you can see, I have 2 half full jars, so I'm just going to go ahead and use these, get these off my shelf, This is when I was first learning to can. So I'm not giving myself too much trouble about it, lesson learned. But it's still sealed, so I'm going to use it up. Best way to open up a canning jar is to get right in between this seal and the lip, right in there. Just put knife, fork, whatever. You just want enough to get it under there and twist. Okay. All this might look disturbing. This is just the fat that has solidified on top of there. So this is perfectly usable, nothing wrong with this. This was raw packed, so this is just what happens when you raw pack stuff. I'm gonna grab some of it and put it in my pan and kind of use it to cook my veggies in. So I'll just grab a little bit of it. Kinda got my heat on like a 6, just a low heat. I got some bits of the lamb in there, but I'm not worried about it. I got that fat melted, so I'm gonna put my veggies in there. I have 1 onion, 1 green bell pepper, and 1 red bell pepper. Just a large dice, because I want those to be bite size. Get those all coated in our grease, which was lamb fat. Now if you don't want to do that, you obviously could just use olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, whatever you'd like. I'm just trying to use stuff up. Alright, now while that's cooking, I'm going to work on the sauce. You're going to need 1 cup of pineapple juice. This I got from each can. I'm using 1 can of the pineapple chunks. Each can came with about 1 cup. So I'm going to double this. So I'm using 2 cups or 2 cans of pineapple. So I got 2 cups of liquid there. And then 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, which I got 1.5, about 1 1/4 cups here. I'm gonna go a little less. I don't want to refill my jar right now, and that's all I had. So I'm doing 1 1/4 cup of brown sugar for this. And to that we are going to add 2/3 cup of rice vinegar. I have this roasted garlic vinegar that I think would be pretty delicious in there. We're gonna give that a try. You could just use regular rice vinegar, or you could use apple cider vinegar, or just regular white vinegar, whatever you got. So 3/4 of a cup. Oh no, I just need 2/3 of a cup. Almost messed up. I actually have my recipe posted on my cupboard so I can look over and glance at it whenever I need it. Okay, 2/3 of a cup of the roasted garlic. Gonna add that to my brown sugar. Aw, honey, honey, you are my sweet and sour lamb that I'm making for dinner. Alright, give them veggies a stir, they're looking good. Alright, after that we are going to have 3 tablespoons of ketchup. I'm using my homemade ketchup here. So I'm adding 6 because I'm going to double it. I usually always double sauce. Even if you have extra, then you have extra, you can use it. I'm going to be the whole rest of my jar here. Might as well use it up, use it up. Man, it feels good when you empty a jar. You're like, yeah, I did that. I emptied it. The stuff I made. Woo! Alright, so we had our 6 tablespoons of ketchup. Now we are going to add 4 of soy sauce. Oh yeah, that's not going to work for me. Take that off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, soy sauce back. And then I have 1 jalapeno here I had in my fridge I needed to use up. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my peppers and onions at this point. I do not want these peppers and onions cooked too much because I want them to still have some texture. So we'll throw that in there. Give that a couple minutes while we stir together our sauce. Another thing I'm going to choose to do is drain the juice that came with this lamb. Whenever we raw packed it, it created its own juices there. So I'm going to strain that out. because I don't want my sauce any runnier. And we can add this to a gravy, or I can pour this over my dog's food. He would love me forever if I did that. Of course, he already does because he's my dog. He loves mama. Alright, so our veggies look pretty good. We got that jalapeno ignited. It's flaming, smelling good. Let's add our sauce. So first thing I'm gonna do is add all this pineapple juice. 2 cups, remember? We don't need this. And then I'm going to add my sugar mixture. Sometimes I like to scoop it in there just to make sure I get all that goodness out. Okay, leave this up for a minute. It's called for a slurry, and those of you who don't know what a slurry, it is just cornstarch mixed with liquid. So I took 4 tablespoons of cornstarch and mixed it with 4 tablespoons of the pineapple juice, and that got me this slurry, and this is what's going to help thicken up our sauce once it starts to bubble. I'm gonna add these pineapple. If you're not a pineapple fan, you could just add the 1 can. Let me see what that looks like. It doesn't look pretty pineapple-y to me, so I might save this other can of pineapple for a different recipe. Alright, we're just gonna let the sauce come to a boil, and then we will add our slurry. I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the lamb at this point too, so it can heat up with everything else. Now, obviously, I'm using lamb just to kind of use up what I have in my pantry. You could use beef, make beef, pork, chicken, any flavor you want. You could not have any meat in this at all and just have like a veggie sweet and sour. So one thing about pantry cooking is just use what's in your pantry. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add this slurry in here. Once again, dip it in here, get some of the hot liquid. I might eventually even add more. I like my sauce pretty thick. I'm gonna be serving this over rice that I made in my Instapot. All right, she's starting to boil. You can tell on the side how it's thickening up. Those bubbles are hitting. It's really important when you make a slurry that you actually mix the cornstarch with the liquid, and a cold liquid at that, because otherwise it'll clump and you'll get clumps of cornstarch, which is not ideal. All right, since it's pretty thickened up, I'm going to go ahead and give it a taste. Oh, it tastes pretty good. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. I'm adding about a teaspoon of kosher salt. All right, little trick if you wanna taste the sauce without sticking your spoon back in there, just pour a little bit on top. Sometimes if you can taste it and you're like, man, I just don't know what it needs, sometimes it just needs a little more salt. Salt helps bring all the flavors together, helps tie it all together. So to serve this up, I just got my bowl of rice here. I love the rice once it's soaked in all that sauce. A couple of chunks of the lamb here. There you go. Quick, easy dinner. Made of everything from your pantry. All right, everybody, there we go. Super fast, easy, sweet and sour lamb. Remember, you can use any protein or no protein at all if you'd like. Make sure you check out my video on how to make that rice in the Instant Pot. And thanks for sticking around, watching me cook, and I'll catch you next time on Mama Baird's.